Bro.
So y'all will have 12 minutes of presentation and 5 minutes of Q&A. Okay, begin whenever you're ready.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are G6 Consulting. DBS Bank faces many threats to its core business both currently and in the future. And today we'll be sharing our strategy on how DBS can overcome these challenges. This is the brief agenda for today. We'll first introduce the trends and issues which justify our 3 recommendations that we have for DBS before we go on to share the financial impact of our recommendations. Our analysis of DBS can be broken down into 3 main parts: the now, the foreseeable future, and the unforeseeable future. We predict that DBS will face many issues in trying to capture more millennial market share, engaging with the millennials, and better preparing themselves for the uncertain future. And to help them to overcome these challenges, we set the following 3 targets for them. Firstly, we aim to help them to reach 40% of the millennial market share within 2 years, increase their millennial engagement score, and finally to attain 20% of adoption and implementation rate through their Agile program, which we'll elaborate on later. And to help them to achieve this, we came up with the now and then strategy. The DBS Millennial Jalan Roadmap is a stopgap restructuring measure to tackle the more immediate and pressing millennial retention problem. The foreseeable future refers to the disruption of e-payment services within the next 2 to 3 years, while the unforeseeable future refers to the disruption of its other banking services beyond the next 2 years. A comparison between DBS and its competitors tells us that DBS is losing out when it comes to millennial product offerings, and it performs particularly poorly when it comes to the interest rates of its savings account. And if DBS does not rectify this problem, together with UOB's aggressive marketing campaign, we project that DBS can potentially lose up to 20% of its market share by the year 2019. However, we also realize that even their competitors cannot match the ever-changing millennial demands. The 2 biggest demands are the demand for better clarity when it comes to bank product offerings, and secondly, the demand for postgrad studies. Many of them are confused by the current bank offering, and they simply desire a more streamlined approach which allows them to minimize the need to compare prices and policies among the different banks. And many more are also going for their master's degree, with an increase in the number of postgrad students by 15% from the year 2011 to 2015. And this is where the Jalan Roadmap can come in. To serve as a guideline for our Jalan Roadmap, we developed a new vision and mission for the DBS Millennial Banking. And we think that DBS should reposition itself as being able to understand the varying pain points at each significant milestone of the millennial life journey. Currently, DBS image is poor for both the young and the experienced professionals. On the other hand, its closest competitor, OCBC, positions itself as being very cool and trendy to attract the young professionals, but it may not have such a similar effect for experienced professionals. We do not wish to go down the beaten path of being cool and trendy as well and compete directly with OCBC for its market share, but rather we aim to reposition DBS to be the reliable and trustworthy partner to appeal to both the young and experienced professionals.
Right, moving on. So this is the Millennial Jalan Roadmap. As you can see, there's a number of phases in the millennial's life. They grow up from a child, they go through NS, they become an undergraduate, and after that they go through 1 of 3 career paths. Yeah, they go to become an employee, they become an entrepreneur, or they go through further higher education. Now, when you're a child, right, we realize that throughout the entire millennial journey, DBS already offers wide and comprehensive range of products. We have solid product offerings, and we have a large consumer base. So what we have existing is already great, it's great. But what we don't have is marketing. What we don't have is that we don't have retention because our interest rates are not attractive enough. No, not only that, our marketing is done as standalone products. These standalone products, there's so many of them, they're confusing. Our millennials are confused, they don't know which are the relevant products there. They don't know which one they can take advantage of. So what we want to do now, we repackage ourselves to an all-in-one solution that will allow them to understand which products are most relevant to them and which they can take advantage of. How do we do this? Now we use data analytics. We figure out which services they need, figure out how they want this communicated to them. So we recommend them the best services, the most relevant services, and we sell it to them in the most relevant way. So in doing so, we want to ensure that our services are relevant, they're customizable, and our customers are fully aware of everything they need to know about services. Now, the last part of the Millennial Jalan Roadmap is higher education. This is a new gap. This is a gap because there's a trend of increasing higher education, but we don't really have much services here. So the gaps here are that master's degrees are expensive. They cost 20,000, 100,000 easily, and they require large student loans. So what are we doing here? We want to allow an interest-free, long-term loan that allows them to repay at small installments. And doing so, we will allow them to afford their higher education better. Also, we offer better savings rates for them to start saving from undergraduate days. These allow those people who want to pursue higher education a chance to save and a chance to be ready for the fees when they come.
So now I'll go on to the issues of the foreseeable future, which is disruption from fintech companies. So 84 of banking incumbents believe that fintech industries are already conducting payment activities with their consumers, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore reported a potential 5% decrease in operating income from disruption from fintech. Hence, DBS has to increase their presence in the fintech industry, and we aim to do this with DBS Mingle, our solution for the foreseeable future. So DBS Mingle is a one-stop app for hanging out made just for millennials. We cover services that range the whole range that the millennials need when they hang out, and we do it for a variety of activities like dining, clubbing, and other activities. So this solution leverages on millennial trends, like they like to spend more money dining with friends, they enjoy the use of contactless payment, and they are active on social media. So I'll walk you through our app, in which the first part is where they evaluate their options before they hang out. For this, DBS can leverage on their big data competency to come up with like user transaction history, compile consumer data, analyze it, and then deliver recommendations catered to user based on user location, and identify trending spots based on location. Because they are using their big data competency, which the other banks do not have, this also reduces the risk of imitation. After which, DBS can consolidate all their retail perks in this app to appeal to the millennials. So DBS already has many perks available for its users, but it's not fully utilized because it's not marketed properly. This app allows this perk to be accessible and hence make banking more attractive to the millennials. After they made a choice and went through it, we come to payment, in which we incorporate the DBS PayLah app to enable contactless payment. And there's also no need to change apps during payment, so that there's a seamless transition. We also are looking into possible expansion into near-field payments. After that, because one person usually pays for all the services, there's the need for bill separation, in which DBS can differentiate their app by providing bill separating services. We can do this by using Bluetooth to detect nearby phones, or using social media apps to detect social groups or circles. Then phones are connected to each other to facilitate bill splitting. So both the Millennial Jalan roadmap that Setting and Kenji has mentioned and DBS Mingle require advertising for it to work, in which we have chosen these avenues to do. Junior colleges, student matriculation websites, university talks, career fairs, and army talks, so that we target millennials in all parts of their lives.
Moving forward, it's important to understand stakeholders' effect on DBS strategy. An analysis of DBS main stakeholders, including investors, consumers, and the government, reveal that they are and will expect to be in it in the long term. While it's tempting to focus on the short term, DBS have to move beyond the foreseeable future to ensure that stakeholders' interests are covered. However, many variables remain unpredictable in the long term. Consumers readily switches to better experience, with only 23% willing to remain loyal. Furthermore, disruptions are also becoming more frequent and simply impossible to predict and prevent. Therefore, the only way forward is to constantly innovate, and an organizational structure that supports that will be essential. This brings us to DBS Agility. Agility aims to change the way DBS innovate. It allows DBS to be quick, flexible, and more focused to keep up with the innovative startups. This will revolve around three main points. Firstly, an agile cross-functional team will be aligned to each customer's episode. This will put the teams in the perspective of the customer and allow them to include functions that will influence the quality of the experience. Furthermore, teams will be empowered to make decisions quickly using experimental feedback loop and constant iteration. This will accelerate time to market and allow products to constantly adjust to the changes of the environment. The beauty of agility lies in its ability to build on existing DBS Asia X. It allows DBS to move innovation beyond the software development and beyond a few individual projects. Ultimately, agility should be embraced at the core of DBS to allow DBS to reach its goal of becoming a 22,000 strong startup and to remain relevant in the unforeseeable future.
Right. So, here are three solutions. This is the now and then strategy. We have now. the Millennial Jalan Roadmap. This is a stopgap measure that is meant to ensure that we retain our market share against the banks. Now, the foreseeable future, we know Alipay is coming. We know the fintechs are coming in. They're going to disrupt us. So, the DBS Mingle is here to prepare us for that. It gives us the first mover advantage. It allows us to prepare ourselves for the fintech disruption that's coming and to retain our market share into the foreseeable future. But these are stopgap measures. These are only useful insofar as the foreseeable future. And we know our stakeholders are here for the long term. And we need to cater to them. So these solutions alone, they are insufficient. We need to deal with the long term. We need to deal with the unforeseeable future. And that's where DBS agility comes in. The beauty of DBS agility is that it protects us. It allows us to remain on the cutting edge of innovation. It allows us to deal with disruptions that haven't been invented yet. So this is DBS agility. So throughout all our solutions, we're leveraging on DBS capabilities with their strong offerings, their large consumer base, and also their data abilities. And leveraging on their strengths, we believe our solutions will prepare DBS for the future. Now, here are our financials. The truth is DBS financials are already very solid. They're great. Okay? Now what we are afraid of is as we go into the future, they might start to lose market share and then financials in maybe 10 years will start to decline. So with our solutions, we have a 15.62 CAGR, but that's not the point. The point is we have our targets. So here are our targets, right? We want to maintain our millennial market share. We want to maintain our 40% millennial market share. We want to achieve our millennial engagement rate of 4.2. And we also want to attain a 20% agile implementation rate. Why is this important? Now this is important because we know that we are losing our millennial market share. It doesn't kick in so soon. We don't feel it yet. But you feel it in the future. So we need to maintain our millennial market share. And we believe that the DBS Jalan Roadmap can do this by repackaging ourselves as a companion for a lifelong journey. By repackaging ourselves as a bunch of relevant services that are marketed in the most relevant way and comprehensive way, we believe we will attain our 40% millennial market share. Besides that, we also believe that we need a millennial engagement score of 4.2. So we will achieve this through the millennial, the DBS Mingle. So DBS Mingle will be a one-stop application for their needs and requirements, especially as far as food and their fund is concerned. So this will engage millennials and increase our millennial engagement score. Finally, through DBS Agility, we'll reposition ourselves with agile adoption and implementation to ensure that we are an innovative company and we are ready for any forms of disruption in the future. Thank you.
May I know how, just how you mentioned about more people are getting like masters in Singapore and all that. May I know how does that exactly change the dynamics of DBS and how is it that we go about doing it?
Well, we address the point of fulfilling the need for higher education because we realize that this is actually a missing gap that's currently missing in all of its competitors' products. So our aim through the Jalan Roadmap is basically a restructuring of what DBS already has. But we also realize that this demand for higher education is a pressing financial need for increasingly more and more Singaporeans because they need more money to cope with the expensive postgrad fees, and they may also have incurred student loans from their undergrad days. And therefore, we think that this is a missing gap which DBS can come in to better reinforce the entire roadmap.
Do you have a percentage of like how many people is going to be like postgrad?
We have the numbers for this. Right now, for this year, we only have about 7,500 to 8,000 higher education students. But this is already almost doubled from about 3 years ago. So we will see that, doubling in 3 years is an excellent statistic. And we believe that while it's only small now, in a few years' time, this will be a very substantial market. So we are positioning ourselves here in advance to ensure we can meet the needs and we reap the first mover advantages.
Why is UOB capturing a greater market share in the future?
Sorry.
Why is UOB capturing a greater market share in the future? What is the game plan? Because from what I'm seeing is, you say DBS currently was like 20% and right now it's projected in the future towards like 10%. But when it comes to your perception map, your competitors map, you see that UOB is aligned, is more or less aligned with DBS. OCBC is like on top of the chart. If you want to pull up this slide, you can show you what it is. So UOB currently has 25% and is projected to grow up to 31%. And if you scroll down to the graph, yeah, this one. And UOB is pretty much in the middle. OCBC is at the top, which you want to position DBS at. So what is the game plan that UOB does that makes them capture greater market share?
Well, actually, for UOB, currently they own about 1/3 of the entire millennial market share. And the 10% market share that we project DBS to hold in the future is simply an assumption that UOB is able to reach their target of achieving 1 in 2 millennial bank millennial. So actually, the 10% DBS we projected for DBS is really a worst case scenario.
So DBS currently already has its own mobile app. So for your mobile, is it going to tie in with the current app or is it an app on itself? And how are you going to get millennials to start using it?
So because the mobile apps that you're talking that DBS have is DBS Lifestyle and DBS Paylah. So DBS Lifestyle is the one where they give all the coupons, and DBS Paylah is the payment one. So this DBS Mingle will just be a separate one, but it leverages on the capabilities on these two apps as well. So DBS Mingle is like what we say, a comprehensive way for millennials to hang out together. And sorry, what was the second part of the question?
Since there are like so many DBS apps on its own, how are you going to get millennials to start using this whole new app on your site?
So that's where the advertising comes in. We intend to because DBS Paylah is more for like everyone, and the lifestyle app is not properly marketed and not many people know about it. So therefore, the DBS Mingle is different. It's in that it is targeted for millennials, and hence we advertise in these avenues to reach out to all the millennials that are different part of their lives. So to junior colleges, we reach out to students that are going to become uni students. Student matriculation also to future uni students. For university talks is current university students. Career fair is the graduating university students. Army talks is for the program.
Two things. The first one is, can you show me how you get 15.62% figure? And the second thing is, just how you mentioned that you're going to repay, the students can repay in longer interest-free installments, and you're going to give higher interest to a trade. It's a stopgap measure. So how are you going to finance it?
Let's address the first question first. How do we get 15.62%? So the number is okay. So let's start with how I got with these financials. So it's a very long question. It requires a very long answer. So let me just start by looking at how we got. Let me just walk through how we got here. Okay, the first thing is that DBS financials are already very healthy. The 15.62 CAGR, a lot of it actually stems from DBS existing strong financials. So as you can see, the business as usual case, right? You already see DBS growing quite substantially over here. And while it's being slowed down by a decreasing market share, the short run decrease in market share will not be substantial. The biggest pain will be in the long run, maybe five years and beyond, which we did not project to such a long distance. So you can see that a lot of it comes from the DAU calculations. But besides that, right, our two recommendations, the Millennial Jalan Roadmap and the DBS Mingle, will also allow us to capture a greater amount of millennial market share. So these in the short run actually don't contribute so much to the financials. They do excellently, but at the same time, that's not the key here. So as the 15.62 is calculated based on how we arrive at the DAU calculations in addition to our recommendations. Yeah. So as to how we will finance the higher education loans, right? In the short run, it's not really a great consideration because what we're trying to do is we're trying to secure our position in the higher education market. So, and it's a very small number of people, so the cost to us will be very minimal. What we are doing here is we're positioning ourselves to be ready for the higher education base. So as for in the later stage, that's beyond the purview of the projection of our financials here. But we believe that the high interest rates that we offer them will be defensible because we will have a greater amount of deposits from higher education loan people, and then we have a greater amount of loans. So the higher education market kind of you compensate for itself and the interest rates that we offer for the savings plan. So in that sense, the app will actually the higher education market will be profitable for the years.
Just ask about the first rank, the users data analytics. So my first question would be like, how are you going to collect data? Right? And do you think think that your DBS Mingle app is attractive enough for millennials to use? Since it's like, I assume it's quite similar to your lifestyle app, it's just that more catered to millennials, more like, like what millennials can do, but is it attractive enough? It seems to me that it's quite easy for competitors to duplicate that. And so what is your unique selling point?
The first question is about the first recommendation,
Yes.
right? Okay. So how we get the data from the millennial journal roadmap, right? So DBS already has existing very strong pool of data for all credit card transactions to ATM withdrawals. And we also have very strong data analytical abilities. So we have both the data and analyzation abilities. So put together, we believe that it's more than sufficient for us to implement data analytics over here. And will give us a strong competitive advantage in implementing the journal roadmap. So as for the second application, the second recommendation.
For the second recommendation, we all tried the DBS lifestyle app. And it's just a website and app. So you have like, you can find coupons on it, but it's not tailored to your needs or anything. So even like a non-millennial who uses the DBS lifestyle app might not find it as useful as the DBS Mingle app, because the DBS Mingle app actually caters it more towards you. Yeah. And you're asking about imitation, right, from other. It's about leveraging on DBS big data competency, because we have a huge pool of data. And our analytics are also better because we have partnership with IBM. So because our analytics are better, we are banking on that to get better analytics and hence better deliverables in terms of recommendation and trending spots for our millennials through our app. And furthermore, because this app is the first app that is going to be of its kind, the first app of its kind, we're also banking on first movers advantage to keep millennials engaged.
And one more point about the first movers advantage. This is a network. So the more people use this app, the better our data analytics will be. So with first movers advantage, we secure the network effect. We secure a strong customer base that will allow us to give the best recommendations moving forwards. So this app will be very difficult to imitate in that it will be difficult for you to secure market share once we have the network established in place.
To add on, millennials currently they are very non-sticky. They easily switch over to better experience, and they always switch over to they are always looking out for ease to use, intuitive product design. So what lifestyle is actually is just that provides all the deals that DBS currently offer. But Mingle, we put everything together. We increase the convenience for the users, and this is more likely to cater to the millennials as well as to the other consumers, because they are looking for the ease of use, intuitive product design, and that's what we are selling them.
Both of yours, right? Okay.